Hey there, it's Kevin Trepanier. Um, Welcome to today's video, where I'm going to be talking about um, tips to let go of shit that no longer serves you. So, like right now, I'm trying to let go of the fact that Miss Stella Luna's howling is one of the most annoying sounds in the world, and how as much as I would want to wring her neck, scrawny little neck, at the end of the day, she's just, she's just, she's just our baby dog. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's Miss Yuna, the big Bayuna. She really is the biggest of Bayunas. Oh, and we love her so. Good girl, Stella Luna. Yes! Yep. She's been a good girl today. She's been practicing lots of things. Stella. Yes! Good girl. Nala's been very good. Anyway, yeah, so letting go. Most of the time, or pretty much, the reason we can't let go is because we keep being stubborn about deciding to keep a negative meaning on something from the past. And at the end of the day, life really has no meaning other than the meaning that we give it. I mean, not life, but everything in life, in our three-dimensional world, like, it's just the meaning that we give it. And so don't quote me on some of the specifics of but you get so not being able to let go means, at least from my experience, when I haven't been able to let go of something, it was because I was thinking something was triggering me to think about a past event that just brought me so much conscious and unconscious anger, honestly, or frustration, or deep sadness, that sort of stuff. I wasn't able to let go when I still held on to those types of beliefs, like, oh, this person is mean, or this person is didn't laugh at my jokes, so they might not like me. I mean, I really don't know who wouldn't laugh at my jokes, but I know there were some there can always go. So anyway, sorry. But I'm honestly trying. I'm actually trying to do better at not making sure I'm not making fun of like the wrong thing as well. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to. Yeah, there's a degree that I really don't care about anything, and I guess, like, to think of that extremity is healthy to think about it, because at the end of the day, you do deserve the best. You deserve to celebrate your wins, because you're you, and you were put on this earth to do exactly what the universe put you on this earth to do, and so anyway, but yeah, so things don't have meaning unless we give it meaning. So with that kind of general notion, it's helpful to also think, well, but we can also choose to give something a new meaning. So I found that when I was able to look at how someone made me feel, at a certain point, not letting go, you're kind of in putting this whole, you're kind of like casting this like shadow over them in some way, and blanketly, labeling, categorizing this person as this feeling, because that's just how your body got conditioned to feel when they did certain things. So that's why even their certain things that they do, or who they are, or just kind of like their constant presence is triggering, because and also, if that happens too, there's likely, like, there's just so many things that like you've basically not really let go, and you kind of still get mad at them for that. And you know, I've had that, and you have to, it's also helpful to realize just like the past is the past, you know, like you can't do anything about the past. Like the past already happened. So if it already happened and there's nothing you can do about it, why give it a negative meaning? That's I had to think that to myself. Yeah. There was an event, and that event I feel like then spawned a bunch of other like exponentially worse events from. But honestly, could look at anyone individually with the same logic that I'm about to say, which is, wow, those all gave me negative feelings, and thus, and those things keep giving me negative feelings. Do I want to be feeling negative feelings right now? I mean, it took a while to kind of figure sometimes that out, where like that was, you know, people or things that, not just people, but like certain other cues in the day could be causing certain reflexes to happen, and you have no idea. So yeah, I mean, and I guess I knew like, well, I don't know. There's another phrase that's, I guess, well, so there's, I'll come back to this. Perception is reality, a phrase that's been kind of coming up for me a lot lately. I've been just kind of noticing that like some things like really seem just really bad for me if I make them to be bad. So some examples, it doesn't make as much sense, but like then but I've had some, okay. So you ever seen, oh my gosh. No. Well, I guess we can use that. I was thinking the flying thing that takes the guy in the first season, and then it's creepy. Oh, anyway, it makes a face, and it's terrifying. And I swear I've seen Stella Luna make that face to me. But then like all of a sudden like I'll like blink, and it's like back to normal, almost as if it was like my eyes creating like an illusion in some way, kind of like you know, kind of like in the movie It. You know, the kids, they feared this thing, right? And their collective fear created this like monster. Who knows what it was? But the way they defeated it, right, was they stopped fearing it. They kind of did the opposite to it. Like, just they started making fun of it and how, you know, powerless and small it was. Like, you know, sort of it was, right? Like, and so then it grows small, and then it basically goes away. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure if there's like comics or more theories about like what happens after. Anyway, that's how they got rid of it. So I did the same thing to. I don't think I at one point I did do this. I kind of mentally was like, you know, like stop it, like kind of like treating Stella like I wasn't scared of her. And her little antics, as creepy as they were, it was kind of like, no, you don't scare me, you little punk. So, and honestly, it went right away. And then she went like back to normal face. And I'm like, oh my god, did I just see that? Did I make that up? Like, Did I make that up? Well, if I was perceiving her as something that I feared, or fear, something about her, I don't know. I just assumed she was mad at me for something. And I'm thinking, like, screw you. I don't care if you're mad at me. I don't need you to be like me. I need you to behave. Stop yelling in the middle of the night. You need to be you're gonna live under this roof, you're gonna follow some rules. Anyway, so I think what helped me kind of be more at peace with, like, and I went back and forth, like, did this person do something bad to me or didn't they? Was it really my fault or was it really their fault? But it could have been my fault. No, it was definitely their fault. But wait, it could have been my fault. Well, okay. Well, who cares? I think I was getting caught up on, like, the part that was my fault. And so maybe I then was like, well, what if, well, I can't be wrong. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe I was. Maybe I was. Well, if maybe I was, well, maybe then he was. Oh my gosh. Like, do I really want to, like, basically, like, hate this person for my life? Which, gets manifested in arguments and, getting irritated with this person. Pretty much anything, like, saying or seeing their name. If that's a trigger, then you have some past event with this person that you haven't let go. And it's kind of manifesting like that's manifesting into these outbursts. Like, it's not the cause, but it's one more backpack to carry. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love backpacks. I love backpacks. My friend Meg also loves backpacks. and her husband. And I mean, who doesn't love a great backpack? Oh my gosh. So but if you're hiking up the mountain, you want to be ultralight. You don't want to be too heavy. If it's and honestly, I don't know nothing about ultralight. Only my buddy Chris knows. David, I would assume, is his apprentice in teaching him that concept. I feel to have learned quite a bit about it as well, without experiencing it, but obviously, so that's not very much per se, but it's a serious topic. Yeah. So anyway, why carry more than you have to? Especially if it's going to cause you frustration. Well, so then that maybe gets into another topic of, like, well, are you addicted to causing yourself frustration? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, because maybe then you might like the attention, I guess, of essentially kind of complaining about it and looking for help, and ultimately the help not really meaning anything, and you just want the attention because you really don't. Yeah, I mean, you're curious, but you kind of want to just keep, like, you want to, like, announce to the world your fucking point, and you want everybody to fucking know it. Fuck yeah. Oh man, and, like, the more people you get to hop on board, the better. Good story. Kev was right in the end. Yep. Oh my gosh, the worst. Anyway, so yeah, letting go is pretty tough, because at least for me, those were the types of debates in my head that had to go back and forth like ping pong or pinball machine. But the good news is, I did get to a point where and honestly, I'm not saying, and honestly, like, letting go is not something that's very easy to do, like in a snap of a finger. But, you know, instead of like, you know, choosing the Mountain Dew versus Pepsi, you choose the Mountain Dew instead of the Pepsi. Like, why can't you just make a new choice to, you know, kind of let how painful the past was, let it just be, use it as a lesson, and apply it to your life going forward right now, and for once prioritize yourself. Ask yourself what you want to prioritize before anybody else. And, you know, so I'll have those thoughts, but I don't always remember them at different points throughout the day, you know, to be honest. Just certain things can put me in moods or put me down, like make me like, you know, get into a lower vibration, a lower vibrational state where the majority of my thoughts and, like, you know, perceptions of the world are a little bit more negative, because I'm just in a painful state of not really being able to get rid of my demons. Yeah. So, but, you know, honestly, like, you know, I'm a black belt in karate, and quite frankly, like, I can judo chop the shit out of some demons. So that's what I do now. You face a demon, you gotta karate chop it or judo chop. Austin Powers. And it was always perfect on one of them. Judo chop. You face a demon, judo chop. So really, you know, in some ways, you know, mentally you can be killing that thought. You're killing the old meaning and applying the new meaning, the more progressive meaning, the more saintly meaning, the more love meaning. More of a state of love. And so, you know, love, I feel like people associate so much with romanticism, and, you know, it's a universal truth, right? It has so many meanings, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's always the litmus test you can always ask is, am I treating myself out of an act of love? Because at the end of the day, I can't, or am I putting my own mask on first? Am I taking care of myself so that I can exist on this planet and do what I need to do to learn as much as I can and help others around me, and you know, let's see how much we can help the world thrive. You know, who knows how far we'll get it? Who knows how far the Earth will be? But I would like to thrive with my time on Earth still, and I would really like to also see other people thrive as well. And, you know, I'm going to aim to be as selfless as possible with that mentality. You know, honestly, I gotta y'all gotta fill up your own cup first. Ain't no other way to say it. So, don't feel bad about treating yourself to ensure that you're progressing yourself forward on the goals that you need to do to be able to live a better, higher quality life, one that is more out of love. End of story. So honestly, everything that kind of goes beyond that sort of like a strategy or mindset, like for me, it's hard to always remember that, but like that's like the litmus test for me, is like, is this an act of love? Is this an act of love? Act of love, act of love, act of love. And guess what? When it's truly acted out of love, where you know, you're maximizing the well-being of yourself and others, given your given where you are in life and your journey, that sounds pretty fun to me. Honestly, that's where I'd like to, be able to get to. Some immediate things that would come from that I think like stepping stones, but you know, that the mentality of being able to prioritize yourself first is kind of also at the root of, am I going to prioritize someone else before my own needs, sort of thing. So now I'm super careful about thinking like, I'm about to do this thing with someone, like, is this really good for me? Should I really be doing this? Or maybe it's a sign that like I could defer it because it actually would be beneficial for me. And if it would be beneficial for me, it's possible that it would be beneficial for them as well. But, you know, there's ways, at least just prompting the question. You don't know unless you ask. And so, you know, the worst case, they'll just say, let's stick with it, and then you gotta stick with it. So like, but then, you know, at least you asked, you know, like you just kind of establish constraints. And so there's a good class at, I went to school in Wisconsin, at UW, that they talked about design and like the biggest goal of design, being able to design or build or engineer, was gathering constraints. You had to have all the constraints. You had to celebrate gaining constraints. So anyway, great class. It was like a kind of like a digital internet studies information. It was like an information counted for computer science and also like a lit class. It was great. I loved it. I think there were two of them. The professors and TAs were amazing. I learned so much. Learned about like digital divide, all that kind of stuff. Anyway. Well, yeah, I guess if you've listened this long, thank you for listening. That's amazing. I hope it's relatively informational, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So letting go. Just apply an old negative meaning with a new, better one. Happier one. A happier meaning. A happier meaning such as you're valuing the learning lesson that you got from that experience, and you're truly grateful for it to the point that every time essentially those triggers come up, you are more trained to be grateful for it. So, which is absolutely something we all can be grateful for, is our past, whether we like it or not. And accepting for ourselves, you know, being able to be at peace with ourselves, forgiving ourselves, loving ourselves, tomato, first, as well as others, because we are all at our own stages. We all learn things differently at different paces for different reasons, one way or another. Including Miss Daibaya. That's why, as much as I sometimes want to just wring her neck, she's just our baby dog. So, oh, kidding. Oh, I love her always. She is amazing. She's so cute. She really is. She's a little Easter bunny husky. So, Easter bunny dropped her off last year for us, and we were so blessed. Yep. So, anyway, yes, thank you for listening. If this was in any way helpful or relevant to you right now in any way, hit like for the video, subscribe. You know how YouTube works. I'm curious if you've ever had situations like this, or maybe you're dealing with a situation that like you have a question on, and you know it's, or some sort of like relationship that you have trouble letting go of. Well, and letting go doesn't mean like getting ready for, right? It's accepting the past, moving on, right? And not having a negative meaning where you know. So, yeah, if there's something that you find troubling to let go, and because honestly, even for myself, like I have to constantly I kind of have to verbalize to myself to kind of like retrain my own thought to look at a better outlook perspective on that thing as opposed to a negative one that I was used to, which in general our ego is very used to holding on to things that we're familiar with. So if there's been a meeting that we've had for a long time and that was kind of the reason, especially if you talked about this person in front of other people like that, you're gonna want to latch onto that. So yeah, familiarity is just always at hand. So but yeah, it is okay to let go. But yeah, if you're struggling with something, feel free to ask a question. You can also reach out, and I'm happy to just talk with you if you ever want to. Just I would just pretty much ask questions, and yeah, I mean, you know how you kind of feel at the end of the day. So happy to just kind of talk until you feel better. So about that person or that past event or whatever. So or maybe worry about a future event. There's a book called The Power of Now. It's a really good book. I can talk about that in maybe a future video. If you'd be interested in that, letting me know in the comments would be helpful. But yeah, if this helped you in any way, or you have your own backgrounds of tips or tricks, feel free, please comment them down below. I'd be curious. I will go through all of them. And yeah, I'm genuinely curious about if you have any other tips or strategies for this kind of stuff. Honestly, like I don't want to claim that this is, maybe there's a part of me that like feels like this is really like the only way to do it per se. It's not. It's just these are the types of things I was thinking in order for me to get over it. Because yeah, and there's a lot of things I take a long time to just kind of like get over for myself, and it yeah, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I just interpret things in such a weird or backwards way. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.